Over the weekend, when you are beating Leicester City 3-0 as Erik ten Hag was walking off the field of play, he told the fans of United that let's come back on Thursday and see us beat Barcelona and knock them out at the Old Trafford Stadium. And that is the message he left back to the fans. He is 100% sure of this, and let me show you this to show you that Ten Hag is really a man who is really so much focused on really knocking Barcelona out of this league. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner is that place to be. Now, let me show you this. Ten Hag went to Barcelona with close to 8 analysts. 8 analysts. And by the way, most teams always have to have 1 analyst, but Erik ten Hag went with 8 analysts, as you see them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 analysts analyzing the game of football between Manchester United and Barcelona, meaning that he had assigned them a task to look at where the loopholes are, and now they're going to go ahead and really capitalize onto how to break down Barcelona. And obviously they got the task right, and I think after getting all that analysis, that's why Ten Hag told the journalists that on Thursday we have to beat Barcelona here. He was sure, meaning that he has already drawn a plan to beat Barcelona and knock them out of the UEFA Europa League knockout stage. So let's get into this match preview and let you know who is available for Manchester United, who is not available for Barcelona, and very many others as we wait for the press conference of these managers tomorrow, as Barcelona will be flying to Manchester tomorrow and Erik ten Hag is going to be holding his press conference tomorrow of Manchester United versus Barcelona. Remember, when we are playing at Barcelona, we beat Barcelona by 2. We drew with Barcelona by 2-2, and would have gone ahead to win that game of football. I think the referee denied us. Was it a penalty? Because Rashford looked like he was fouled at the edge, all inside the Tina's box area by Jules Koundé. He was supposed to be sent off, but the referee never took that serious. And VAR, funny enough, never intervened. That's why Barcelona is referred to as Eurocelona in there for you, because they believe that UEFA is really in bed with Barcelona, something that wouldn't be good for the game of football. And United knocking out Barcelona is going to be a very huge blow to the La Liga, because if a team that is third in the Premier League is knocking out Barcelona, a team that is really topping up the La Liga, then that sends a very bad message to how far the levels have dropped down in La Liga. But let's talk to players who are really going to be away. For Barcelona, they're not having Gavi, they're not having Pedri, they're not having Ousmane Dembele. But Sergio Busquets over the weekend, as Barcelona was playing, he was part of that game of football. He was on the bench, but he was the unused substitute into that fixture, and it looks like he's going to return. He's going to return when they are playing Manchester United at Old Trafford, and that game, Barcelona won it by 2-0. They are playing Cadiz. I think it was Lewandowski and is it Sergio Roberto. Those are the 2 players that really went ahead to put in those stats, and obviously they gave Barcelona a 2-0 lead. United over the weekend beat Leicester City by 3-0, and the following players are out completely. Donny van de Beek and who? Eriksson, Christian. Those 100% out. Don't even think of them coming in near this game of football. But Anton Martial and Anthony are really doubtful. But don't be shocked tomorrow when the manager comes out through in the press conference and tells you these players are variable. Don't get shocked, because in any way they can make it, because they've been making some good groundwork. And the other player they've been working with, their counterpart, that is Scott McTominay, returned and played some good minutes when United was playing Leicester City at Old Trafford. But those that were suspended that will returning include Sabitzer and Lisandro Martinez. So for the very first time, we might see Casemiro and Sabitzer playing in the same team for the very first time, as Erik ten Hag looks like he is going to go for Sabitzer over Freddy Rodriguez, because for Freddy, he's a player who blows hot and cold. In the game of Barcelona, Leeds, all the games that we played Leeds, the first half he really looked ugly, second half improved. Then in the game of Leeds away, the same thing. Then the game of Barcelona, first half, Freddy looked sloppy. Second half, he picked up and obviously put in an assist for Marcus Rashford. Even on Sunday, he had a very poor first half because he gave away the ball very many times in the central axis, and he almost costed us close to 2 or 3 times during the first half. But in the second half, he came out through and played very well. He even contributed an assist to Rashford's second goal of the game of football at Old Trafford. Now, Scott McTominay is back. He's coming from injury. Harry Maguire is out. He's having an injury. Sabitzer, Lisandro Martinez suspended. They are now here to play this game of football. Now, that takes us direct into what we call the match preview and the predicted starting 11 of Manchester United, as we expect Ten Hag to bring in this team. I know most of you are really waiting for this and you want to know my view of how we think Ten Hag is going to stand. The system is always unchanged. It's always a 4-2-3-1 when you're attacking. When you are defending, it turns into a 4-5-1. Now, in goal, obviously, a man that clicked 180 clean sheets for Manchester United, known as David De Gea. I think he deserves to be in that goal. The efforts he put in through in the game of Leicester City to keep us in the game were really appreciated. Away at Barcelona, he did the same in the first half. Barcelona had close to 2 chances where they would have gone ahead to really hurt Manchester United, and he came in through and obviously stopped that from happening, and that danger never really happened to Manchester United. Now, he's going to start. I think no goalkeeper can come close to him. Let's go to the right back position. Bissaka started away in Barcelona. Delo started at Old Trafford and played 90 minutes. Now, there is a huge dilemma concerning who is going to start at Old Trafford. Delo played very well. He even missed a sitter because of the runs he makes, and that's what shows you that he's a very different kind of player altogether. But will Ten Hag risk his man that believes can really take him to Wembley and play some good minutes and really win that game of football? In this game of Barcelona, however much we know he wants to win it, yet Bissaka can get this job done and dusted, according to me. But even when Bissaka came on through in the game of Leicester, he could have gotten himself an assist if at all Wout Weghorst buried that cutback that he made towards the byline into the back of the net. So my mind is telling me that it's this man to start at the right back position of Manchester United, and it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Do you know why? He's really a player that is really good defensively, and at Old Trafford, we know that we're going to score. It's all about us not starting slow as we've been doing the previous games. I think for the previous 3-4 games, we've been starting slow. First half, and then the second half we pick up. But the main aim is going to be keeping it watertight at the central defense. Then the goals will come in through because the team is really good and you're having very many players returning back from injury. So I believe Bissaka is starting over Diego Dalot. Then left back, Tyrell Malacia over Luke Shaw. Malacia started the game of Leeds away, and then he started the game of Barcelona away, and he never played a single minute in the game of Leicester City at Old Trafford because the manager, when he took off Luke Shaw, he brought on Bissaka. Bissaka played as a right back, and then Delo switched to the left back and played very well. So I believe in this kind of game of football, I think the most informed left back for Manchester United is Luke Shaw. And the reason as to why Shaw is going to be playing ahead of Tyrell Malacia is simple. He has a very good end product to his game, especially when he really reaches the final third of the opponent. But Malacia is really lacking a lot of quality in that position. But defensively, being press resistant, passing that ball around, knocking it around, he's really good. He's really good. And the other factor is that you can't play another left back who is short when you're having another player who is short in the names of Lisandro Martinez in your central defense, because Martinez is returning. So I believe it's really going to be Luke Shaw over Tyrell Malacia. But Tyrell Malacia is also a good player and is having a fantastic season at Old Trafford. When we go to the central defense, obviously Rafael Varane never played a single minute to that game, meaning that he's fit. I've seen the photos of him trying to train hard into the training session of Manchester United. Can I even find Rafael Varane? Let me try to find him here and show you how he was training hard into the United training ground as Carrington, and this is how he looked. That is a player known as Rafael Varane, who never played a single part into the game of football of Leicester City, and the manager really came in through and really said, all right, I'm not going to use you today. Just get to know that it is going to be a very big honor to have you in the game of Barcelona. The reason as to why he's being brought in, you know why. He was rested for a reason of a player called Lewandowski. To me, he's the best number 9 in the world currently. That is Rafael Varane, training at Carrington, getting himself ready for the game of Barcelona on Thursday, and he's even smiling because he knows that he is going to pocket Lewandowski as they pocketed him down in all at Camp Nou and at Old Trafford. It's going to be the same case. So I believe this man comes in through to play on the right side of the central defense, and that displaces a player called Lindelof. Remember, over the weekend, it was Lindelof and Lisandro Martinez, and Vitor Lindelof put in a performance that everyone was happy about as a United fan. Obviously, we go to the other player known as Lisandro Martinez. I know we missed him about Barcelona. He's back. He was so much commanding into that central defense, and obviously he was also viewed today in the training session of Manchester United, and he was alongside Jadon Sancho. That is how he really looked, and he took part into the training session today at Old Trafford. Remember, yesterday they even trained. Today they're also training, and even tomorrow they're going to be training, and that is Lisandro Martinez, a man we believe that is going to come in through and really play into that position. Now, we go to the central defensive midfield, or the double pivot. Who do you think is going to be playing into that position today? I believe it's really going to be the return of a man that we've missed a lot, known as Casemiro. Casemiro is really a player that looks really great for Manchester United. Everything he touches turns into gold. Although he really lost that ball and made a very blind pass when we are playing, when we are playing Barcelona away. He's the reason as to why we conceded that second goal. And obviously, no one could help him because he was not playing with a very good player in the double pivot. It resulted in the second goal. But I think when you're with him, we are really great. And that's why you see to it that whenever playing with Casemiro in that CDM role, we find all pockets of spaces and lanes to pass that ball in through the central axis. Whenever he's out, it's very hard for us to really conquer the central axis of the pitch. Now, I believe Casemiro is going to be one of those players to play into that CDM position, and he's really going to be playing very, very well. That is Casemiro for you, obviously starting into that position, returning into the side of United as his suspension ended on the weekend, especially in the home games, especially missing 3 games after the Leicester red card that was given to him. He never played in the double tie of Leeds, and he missed out on the game of Leicester that we won 3-2, that we won 3-0 at Old Trafford. Now he's back and is going to be playing into that single pivot position, not single pivot, CDM position. That's how Casemiro looked today while training, and he was with Rafael Varane, and he was all smiles, looking that he was really ready to go on and really get ready for Barcelona and nominate them and eliminate them out of this beautiful game of football. That is Casemiro and Rafael Varane into that position. Let's go to who the manager is going to partner him with in that double pivot position. Is it Fred? Is it Scott McTominay? Is it Sabitzer? Freddie has always looked good in the second half and has played very well, but does he have the ingredients of an Eriksen, or to reflect what Eriksen really gives at the field of play? I think no. Does Scott McTominay has any of those? No. The other two players that really have those qualities to come in through and play are really young, and the manager cannot risk them to put them into this game. That is Kobe Mainoo, who made his Premier League debut at Old Trafford over the weekend as they brought him on for Sabitzer to that position. The other one is Zidane Iqbo, also young, good, talented, but the manager doesn't want to risk him to come in through and really play into that position. So I believe the best person to put in this position to partner and complement Casemiro in a very good way is the shirt 15 of Manchester United, known as Sabitzer. That is the guy that I believe Ten Hag is going to play him alongside Casemiro for the very first time in his career, and I believe it's really going to be so much good. This is a moment I've always waited for, and what has made us really wait this long for this moment to really orchestrate or to come to pass? It's because Casemiro got a red card in the first game of Sabitzer that would have played alongside him, and that was against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. And in the UEFA Europa League game away at Barcelona, they would have played together. But again, Sabitzer had picked up three yellow cards while playing in the group stages of the Champions League with Bayern Munich, and that really kept him away into that game of football. But that shows you how strong this team is, because we are having now 3 players who know how to beat Barcelona. Rafael Varane has played more El Clásicos than any of the player at Barcelona. I think only Sergio Busquets really equals him. There is Casemiro, very many El Clásicos. For Sabitzer, he got a chance to play against Barcelona in a two-game tie during the group stages of the Champions League, because they are drawn with Inter Milan, Pleasant, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. And in those games, he played in them all. The first game, it ended 2-0 in favor of Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena, and when Bayern paid Barcelona a visit, they were beaten 3-0. Bayern beat them 3-0. So it shows you that Barcelona, however much they've been called a very good side that's not conceding goals, they've not been conceding goals in La Liga, but when it comes to Europe, they've been conceding very many goals. The 2 goals they conceded against Manchester United put their tally to 12 in the Europe levels, all tier, this season. In the group stages of the Champions League, they conceded 10, and now United has gone ahead to put more past them. So I believe we are having players who really have experience to beat Barcelona. In the central attack midfield, obviously no question for this man. Everyone tips him to come in and really play and do a very good job, because he put up 2 assists when we are really winning against Leicester City. He would have gotten himself more, though the players never really went ahead to bury them. Even away at Barcelona, he had released Wout Weghorst very well, and Weghorst didn't score. And I was happy that chances are coming in for Weghorst, but he's not scoring, and then let the pressure be on him, not on us, because that's what we want. We want the pressure to be on the player, not on us, because every time I don't see chances being created, I won't blame the striker. But every time I see a striker missing out on chances, I'll say, all right, the pressure is now on him. That means even if you bring in who is good at scoring in goals, then that person will bury those chances in, because we know that creating chances is no longer a problem. Remember, it has always been under Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Ralf Rangnick. Even in the early stage of the season that Ten Hag started to manage at Manchester United, we had problems of creating any chances, but it looks like we can create very many chances. In the game of Barcelona away, we had close to 6-7 chances to score, but we only scored 2. In the game of Leicester, I think we had close to 10 chances, and we only converted 3. So, Bruno Fernandes playing as a central attacking midfielder. I believe however much this man came in and played as a central attacking midfielder, I believe he's going to start this time around as a right attacking midfielder for the club of Manchester United at Old Trafford. That is Jadon Sancho, who is really exploding, and he has gone ahead to surpass the number of goals he scored last season in the Premier League. He scored 3 last season. Now he has gone ahead to score 4 right now, with he played 29 games last season and he had 3 goals. This time around, he has gone ahead to score 4 in only 13 league games that has played. 16 less, more goals, and some good assists on his name. Sanchez expected him to play on that side. Then the left, obviously the man that is really on form, Marcus Rashford, scoring away at Barcelona, scoring against Leeds twice, scoring against Crystal Palace, and scoring against Leicester City. He scored a brace. He's really in vibrant form of his life, and he's going to play on the left attacking side of the midfield. Then, who is leading the line? I believe it's going to be Wout Weghorst, a player that needs to score goals this time around, because chances have been given to him, and he needs to start burying them at the back of the net. And he told us before the Leicester game that he can't wait to score that goal at Old Trafford. He wants to score in front of the close to 78,000 fans of Manchester United. So that is my predicted 11, and I believe we don't need the manager to go in for a Weghorst as a number 10. I don't see reasons why we should go in for such a formula, because I believe this time around, when you're having Weghorst and when you're having Casemiro, and Sabitzer in the double pivot, that means the midfield will be strong enough. It will be strong enough. The reason as to why the manager was playing Weghorst in there for you, because he's really good at doing those presses and really pressuring up and winning those balls in there for you. But this time round, we are having Casemiro and Sabitzer. The other time we never had Casemiro, and it was only Sabitzer and Freddy. So this time the #1 CDM in the world is back. I believe it's going to see Casemiro play back. So it's going to see Bruno Fernandes not being played on the right wing. He's going to be played into his favorite position, and I think in that position he's going to be so much a threat to really cause Barcelona a lot of danger and damage into that beautiful game of football. But the return of Sergio Busquets might really call in for a very huge midfield battle, but I believe Sabitzer's return also adds more to that, because they are playing that midfield with Freddy and Casemiro. I believe Sabitzer is a much more composed player who wins more earlier duels, grand duels, tackles, and interceptions are really great, and he's really a beast and a fighter. His intensity is also high. So to me, I put Freddy on the bench. Later in the game, I take off Sabitzer, I bring on Freddy, depending on the game situation. But Alejandro Garnacho, no reason to start him. Having had a very poor game against Leicester, I think it's better he got off the bench and played some 15-20 minutes later, and you can put Rashford to lead the line and take off Weghorst. Depends on how the manager's plan is going to be, but you never know. We might be having Antony back, because I've seen his post, by the way. Let me show you something Antony has posted. Looks like he's really fully back, according to me. When I saw this post on Instagram, I got to know that maybe he's sending a message to the fans of United that I'm going to be part of the match squad, and I can't wait to see the manager coming in through and really letting us know what the player is like. But it looks like he's fresh and ready. Every time he does this, just know he's now back. That's what Antony put on his Instagram, and I think he's ready for the game of United versus Barcelona tomorrow, or on Thursday at Old Trafford. So Antony might come in through, but I think the manager can't risk him to start. He will put him on the bench, and I'm really fancying to see Martial back, Antony back, to be on that bench with Garnacho, Freddy, Scott McTominay, Victor Lindelof as a goalkeeper, and maybe Kobe Menu. I would love to see that bench of United look out like that, because that's really what you want. That's what you really want when you're going to beat a team like Barcelona and facing it, because Xavi will be afraid to even press and name his 11, because he'll be so much worried about what is happening onto him. He's going to be so much worried. You get Martial, Garnacho, Antony, Freddy Rodriguez, Scott McTominay, on the bench. It's really an overdose for Barcelona. I believe it's going to be a hard night for Barcelona. But I can't rule out a shocker. You never know what happens in the game of football. A shocker can be felt by United at Old Trafford, but I think we are really ready for this game. If there is something ready, Ten Hag is for, I think it's this game. Going in with 8 analysts to Camp Nou in Catalonia. He had something in mind that he was really looking at, and those analysts really told him do ABCD, and I think they're the ones that really even told him that there is a lot of space in the midfield, and then he said, let me put there Sancho in the game of Leicester City to play as a central attacking midfielder. So Rokan David is my name. That is my starting 11 as you've seen it there. David De Gea in goal, Bissaka right back, Shaw left back, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, central defensive partnership, double pivot Sabitzer and Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Sancho right attacking midfielder, Bruno Fernandes left attacking midfielder, Wout Weghorst leading the line for the side of Manchester United. So guys, that is it for now. Your predictions are welcome in the comment section below, but I believe we are going to go in for like 3 goals. 3-0 or 3-1. 3-0 or 3-1. That's what I'm really believing. If I told you I had Sabitzer into that game and Lisandro Martinez, I believe that game would have ended at Barcelona, because Sabitzer with Casemiro, he's going to be given a lot of liberty to go ahead a lot in the advanced areas of the pitch. And you know what he brings, or what he puts on the plate when he's thriving into those final third positions of the pitch. He's really deadly. He has a very good shot on him. He can really release a player like Rashford or Weghorst. He can distribute that ball to Sancho or Rashford. And he has a very good shot on him. Set pieces, great. So I believe we are into a very good, interesting game between United and Barcelona. So your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. My prediction is 3-1 2-0 or 3-1 for Manchester United. A win for Manchester United, I'm guaranteeing it to them, and I think you're winning this beautiful game of football. Guys, I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. Good night. Those are going to bed. Those that are still awake, we are going to come back in the next 2 or 3 hours with a story that the Glazers aren't made up their decision to sell Manchester United. The progress of Erik ten Hag on the field of play is making them think otherwise, though they are disagreeing with their other 4 members of the family, because they are 6. Avram and Joel Glazer want to retain or to start United. The other are saying, we want out. Sell the shares. We no longer want to be here. So I'm returning with that story, big story. But you can also follow me up on Rokani Media Football, where we are going to be dissecting some bit of Liverpool versus Real Madrid, a very huge game. That was the finale of the Champions League last year, and that tie has come so early this season in the Champions League tie because it's even in the round of 16. How does it come to happen like that? Liverpool completed below Napoli and Real Madrid topped its group. That's why you are into that conundrum. So let's wait and see what is going to be happen, and obviously I'm out. Ciao, ciao.